Hello everyone and welcome back to another Movie Nights movie review. Today we are talking about Twisters. This is directed by Lee Isaac Chung of Minari fame, and it stars Daisy Edgar-Jones, Glen Powell, and Anthony Ramos, and several other cast members. Nice little pop-ups from Katy O'Brien and David Corenswet. This film is also a sequel/remake to Twister. There is one reference in the film that confirms what it is, and it's very throwaway. It's basically just another story about twisters in this world that uses kind of the tropes from that original movie for a reimagining. It's very much so a requel. I was very excited for this movie. I actually really liked the marketing for it a lot. And while the movie is not perfect, it is very enjoyable, it's very fun, and I think it'll do really well box office-wise, and I think it is a league above some other blockbusters we've had in the past few years while being a league down from the best of the blockbusters we've had in the past couple of years. I'll start with negatives first on this one. I think that the screenplay is very on-the-nose, generic check boxes of what, the basics of what should happen with your characters and your story leading up to it. The main character, played by Daisy Edgar-Jones, does have a journey that she goes on and has the most interesting backstory, and the performance is really good. Anthony Ramos' character does go on a little bit of an arc as well. Glen Powell's character pretty much has no arc in this movie. And that's okay for the most part because Glen Powell is so charismatic and he gives such a great performance in the film. He really injects life into it when his character gets introduced. But when you watch the story from beginning to end, nothing really changes with him. The script also suffers from characters stopping the movie to explain how they're feeling, and that happens a lot, and with several different characters. And while it does show why characters feel a certain way in some parts, which to me is just a better storytelling avenue of that, is showing me how characters feel. And, if you're going to have them explain how they feel, let it be a moment, let it be this big monologue, or have some build up to this moment that they're going to explain how they feel. But a lot of it just felt very kind of puzzled throughout, just kind of sprinkled of, make sure the character says how they're feeling in this moment, and it kind of felt a little bit jarring. Transitioning to the positives, the second half of this film is a lot better than the first half of this film. Kind of weak setup, but very interesting payoff. This film has a lot of charm. It's incredibly fun. It's incredibly funny. It's exciting and suspenseful. It's everything that you want a blockbuster movie to be. It achieves that very well. Visually, the VFX look fantastic. I think there was only maybe one VFX shot where I didn't think it looked very good. I think every other VFX shot in the movie looked amazing. The chemistry between Daisy Edgar-Jones and Glen Powell is very strong, and whenever they're on screen together, you are kind of just loving their dynamic and their back and forth. I also wanted to point out the sound of the movie, the sound design and the sound mixing. Exceptional. I got to see this in a Dolby at the press screening that I was at, and I highly recommend seeing it on a big screen in an IMAX or a Dolby because the sound was an integral part of the experience, and it was incredibly well done. This is probably the best sound I've heard in a movie this year other than Civil War. I think Civil War has had, and Dune. Can't forget about how good Dune's sound was. I think the biggest thing the film achieves is you really root for the lead character, especially in the third act of the movie. And that is something that you really need to achieve as a filmmaker if you want people to like your movie, is to root for that lead character. And you want Daisy Edgar-Jones' character to succeed. You really want to see her achieve this goal that she's had for a long time that the film establishes. And in the third act, she goes head-to-head with a huge beast of a storm. And, you could feel kind of the entire theater on the edge of its seat of just hoping and wanting this character to succeed. And, if you have the audience for that, then you've done it. You've done the thing that your movie needs to do. I wish that the first half of the movie did a little bit of a better job of setting up the importance of that, but I did think the payoff was well done. And I think Lee Isaac Chung did a good job directing the film. I just do think that the script was a bit weaker. Overall, I really enjoyed the film, and it was a lot of fun. I'm going to be seeing it again this week with my friends, and I anticipate it doing well in the weeks to come. It's probably not going to do well its second weekend because of Deadpool and Wolverine, but after that, I anticipate it maintaining in the top 5 at the box office for a while, because it does have a lot of blockbuster film qualities that aren't shitty like some of the Transformers sequels and, other films of that nature. It is a league way above those. So that will do it for the review of Twisters. Once you guys see it, what did you think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.